This podcast is brought to you by 2 YouTube channels that we will have in the description that has some interesting content.
This will be episode 1 of 1 for our new podcast channel. Today on this podcast, we will be discussing nicknames.
Nicknames are a unique asset of life that can make life more interesting.
Look at the definition. A familiar or humorous name given to a person or thing instead of or as well as the real name. Nicknames are meant to be humorous or similar to the person's personality traits, you know?
Yeah, I actually have a nickname of my own.
You do?
Yeah, my nickname is Peter Pan. I actually got it because I ride dirt bikes, and when I ride, people say I fly, so they started calling me Peter Pan, and it just stuck.
That is just like the definition. You're called Peter Pan because of a trait that you have, but you're way luckier than me.
Why's that?
I actually have my own nickname, and guess when I got this? About 11 or 12 years ago. I've been called this until now.
What's your nickname then?
Nope. I'm not telling you. That's how you know that it's really horrible.
Well, it can't be that bad.
Yeah, it is. But I guess it's not as bad as other people's, like my friend. He actually has 2 nicknames, which we will introduce later. Even my brothers don't like to have their nicknames called in public.
Same here. I know a lot of people that have nicknames.
Some nicknames that I know are really weird, like Ponton and Chocho Man, which is really weird.
How'd they get those nicknames?
I think they actually got their names like me, when they were really young.
Are they nicknames? Do they have some kind of meaning?
No, actually, which is really weird. How did they even come up with these nicknames?
Yeah, that's pretty weird. But hey, don't forget about the cooler names.
Yeah, there are actually a few cool nicknames that I know and want.
There are some ones that sound cool, and there are ones that mean something cool. Some even come from a few quote-unquote cool words.
Like, I actually don't really know any cool names.
Yeah, I guess nicknames are more insulting than cool, but my nickname is pretty cool.
Peter Pan?
That one is pretty cool, but that isn't the name I was shooting for.
You have 2 nicknames?
Yeah, this is kind of my nickname. I use it for almost everything. I use it for titles, for channels, and social media.
So, what is it?
It's Senor Pineapple.
Oh, that is a good one because that describes you, kind of. You're kind of obsessed with pineapples.
Plus, it does sound and look pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess, but I can't really think of any more cool nicknames because Mr. Awesome doesn't really sound that cool.
I think Mr. Awesome sounds pretty cool.
Okay, but I know someone who has a cool nickname.
Who is it?
I think we'll introduce him after the ads.
Okay, but is he famous?
Very. This podcast was sponsored by 2 YouTube channels, Senor Pineapple and Christian A. Navarro. Check out the channels in the description, or if you are watching this on their YouTube channel, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Also, thanks to Dole Plantations, the birthplace of pineapples, for their amazing care skills to pineapples. And let's get back to our regular program.
Okay, we're back, and we had some technical difficulties with a member in our group, and he didn't want us to interview him.
So right now, we're going to introduce someone new to this podcast.
Hey. This is Jacob Miranda here, and he's going to be telling us about his nickname.
So, what is your nickname?
Jacoby. Tell us about your nickname, Jacoby.
My nickname is Jacoby because my middle name's Kobe and my first name is Jacob. I don't really feel much about my nickname.
Well, who gave you this nickname in the first place?
My friend JR and a kid named Steve.
Well, that is a good nickname, and thank you, Jacoby, for coming on to our podcast.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, and now for our next interviewee.
Wait a second, we don't have a second interviewee.
We don't? Why not?
Remember the one we were about to introduce after the ads? Since there's been some technical difficulties with him, we only have one interviewee, and that was Jacoby.
Well, we can't explain his nickname and who he is.
Yeah, we should do that. So, the person that we were about to interview and had some technical difficulties with was Phil, Wheat Sandwich, or the Dun Man.
His actual name is Dylan Weist Sanchez, but since Phil Wheat Sandwich kind of sounds like his name, we make fun of him and call him that.
I remember when he got it too. About a year ago in one of my social studies classes, the student helper actually was passing out papers and he got the name wrong. He accidentally said Wheat Sandwich instead of his real last name, Weist Sanchez.
Yeah, that was a pretty funny thing that happened. But for his second nickname, he always says he's done because people like say jokes and stuff, so he says he's done, so we started calling him the Done Man. Yeah, and that's pretty much it for our podcast, so here's Christian for the conclusion.
So, a lot of people have nicknames in this world, and most of the time they aren't the best nicknames to have, and sometimes are really insulting. But all in all, nicknames are supposed to be used for fun and shouldn't be taken seriously.